This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore.
Hey everybody! First, before I even get started here, I want to say to forgive me in my craggly voice. I'm super sick right now, but there are just too many things that are important going on for me to be out of commission. So thanks for putting up with me sounding like I'm gargling oatmeal-soaked broken glass. You guys are the best. Well, the day that we've waited roughly 675 days for has come. Robert Mueller has finished the investigation and delivered his report to Donald Trump's new Attorney General, Bill Barr, who spent Saturday in the office the entire day preparing a 4-page letter to Congress describing the conclusions he's drawn from the Mueller findings. In short, that means that rather than getting the book you've really been wanting for your birthday, someone wrote a brief book report explaining to you what they thought was in the book and then gave that to you. Congress, and by extension, the American people, know little more today than we did on Friday morning before the report dropped. That is why it's critically important for the entire report, along with all of the underlying evidence, to be made public. But before I get into that, let me briefly talk about something that is very telling coming from Donald Trump's own hand-picked successor to Jeff Sessions. There's an interesting quote from the special counsels, which was conspicuously included by Attorney General Bill Barr, which states, quote, "The special counsel states that while this report does not conclude that the president committed a crime, it also does not exonerate him," unquote. Let me repeat. This does not exonerate Donald Trump. This does not exonerate Donald Trump. And for those of you in the back of the room with the MAGA hats on, chewing on a dirty sock filled with room temperature mayonnaise, this does not exonerate Donald Trump. The Attorney General's letter to Congress concludes with this comma-riddled diversion related to obstruction of justice. Quote, "In cataloging the president's actions, many of which took place in public view, the report identifies no actions that, in our judgment, constitute obstructive conduct, had a nexus to a pending or contemplated proceeding, and were done with a corrupt intent, each of which, under the department's principles of federal prosecution guiding charging decisions, would need to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt to establish an obstruction of justice offense," unquote. In layman's terms, that means, look, there's absolutely evidence that Donald Trump did some bad shit, a lot of it, and because he's stupid, a lot of it in public. However, because we're not in his head and it's hard to prove intent, and it would need to be proven to a beyond a reasonable doubt standard, so he's going to get a pass on this one. Come on, dude. All right. Now let me circle back to why it's critically important for the entire report, along with the underlying evidence, to be made public. The Republicans want two entirely separate things right now. Simultaneously, they want to claim that the report completely exonerates Donald Trump, even though we just established very repetitively that it doesn't. This does not exonerate Donald Trump. This does not exonerate Donald Trump. And for those of you in the back of the room with the MAGA hats on, chewing on a dirty sock filled with room temperature mayonnaise, this does not exonerate Donald Trump. And Republicans also want the entire report buried and hidden from public view, or burned, as dipshit Devin Nunes said on Fox News.
Okay, so Congressman, you talk about being obstructed by the Department of Justice, the FBI, in your investigation of the situation. But what about President Trump's ability to declassify all of the documents that you are in pursuit of? He has the ability to do that. He has not done it. Do you think he still should?
Absolutely. So the Mueller report, a lot of people, what does it say? We can just, burn it up. I mean, it is a partisan document. So there's going to be a lot of calls for that. And the Democrats say, we got to see the underlying information. What we really need to see is what was the FBI's involvement with Fusion GPS?
What a hilarious moron. And don't sue me, Devin. I'm not the famous @DevinCow Twitter account that you're so upset about right now. You creep-ass out-of-work serial killer. Seriously, look at this guy's photo and tell me that that isn't the smile of a guy who tortured his pets as a child. Yikes. Anyway, look, this is how this is not surprisingly shaking out. Democrats and people who have a healthy respect for the rule of law and our democratic traditions want full transparency related to the entire Mueller report, as well as the underlying evidence. But Republicans, without even seeing it, are already saying that the report clears Donald Trump. It totally clears Donald Trump, but also it should be burned. Come on, Republicans. MAGA Americans might be satisfied with such clear nonsense, but the rest of us are not. Release the report.